This stinks. Halloween's already come and gone, but it's still so freaking hot! I thought Braganza was a legitimate kingdom-friendly port. If they'd grant us harbor access, we wouldn't be here sweating our plums off unloading gear.
Why are you complaining? You're getting a vacation to the tropics all on the government's dime. Sorry to keep you heroes waiting.
Captain Staccato, call sign Burning Alpha. Heading out on patrol.
Eye in the sky's a good idea while we put the base together. Good luck up there.
In this golden age of object warfare, this is about as useful as a fighter jet can be. But hey, I'll work with what I've got.
This is Charlemagne 01. Burning Alpha, you're authorized for takeoff.
Roger that, thank you, Tower. This is Burning Alpha. All clear.
After losing their object, the Mass Driver Foundation changed their approach. They went north through the blank zone and broke across the border, thus leading to an invasion of the Amazon region, which is legitimate kingdom territory, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. We made the evacuation of citizens our top priority. Unfortunately, we were unable to stop the enemy incursion because of it.
What's the status of your object? 3 of the Baby Magnum's main guns were knocked out in the last fight. If possible, I'd like to propose a joint operation.
Our object, the Forest Roller, was undergoing regularly scheduled maintenance. The original plan was to have the Bright Hopper fill in for us while we were having it repaired. But after what happened, that's off the table. And to top it all off, the Bright Hopper's elite, Major Copacabana, is rather stubbornly insisting on going home.
The dog forced to wait for his meal goes running with his tail between his legs. Very well. We'll sweep up the remnants of the Mass Driver Foundation with the Baby Magnum as planned. But we're not a sure thing by any means. In addition to the 3 offline guns, the propulsion unit was hit, so that means no high-speed combat.
So why don't we try scrounging up a few extra supplies from our base in the Amazon?
No use. The majority of object parts are order-made. It's entirely possible anything we have wouldn't be compatible with the Baby Magnum's setup.
It appears we have no other recourse but to request assistance from the Charlemagne as well. Sorry to impose.
We'll help however we can.
However, in terms of combat assets, we only have outdated aircraft. I can't guarantee we'll be of much use on the modern battlefield.
But didn't reports indicate that the Mass Driver Foundation's objects had already been taken down?
I certainly hope that's the case.
There's at least one reactor out there that powered the spare guns down in Antarctica and the coast of Iguazu. But that begs the question, how many units does the Mass Driver Foundation actually have in their possession? The Unknown X. If it really exists, we've got a hell of a fight coming.
Our fire inside so 泥まみれのその表情が見据えてる先へ流れ落ちる朝が全て無駄に終わるとしても戦うことだけは忘れはしないだろういつでも笑える強い君の泣き顔は誰も知らないから心の技は消えないけどYou always never gave up, you never gave up, so nothing's too late. So yeah, then never wake up, you never wake up, you never take on that. It's gonna get it done. 笑えない世界はどこまでも笑ってそうさ駆け抜ければいい
Amazon City? Yep, they say it's the largest ghost town on the planet. And if the buzz I hear is right, the Mass Driver survivors are building their base somewhere around there. An actual ghost town? It was originally built as a mining town for oil and aluminum and stuff. But then they came into contact with some megavirus from the jungle and the place was abandoned.
Megavirus? And that's where they're sending us?
If that was still a problem, the enemy'd be wiped out by now. And we'd be sipping caipirinhas on the beach.
Don't get too comfy. That's an officer's chair.
Good, they've arrived.
Princess Melinda!
That's a spare seat for the cockpit.
Oh yeah? Well, it's bitchin'. These knobby bits on the shoulders are for low-frequency electric therapy, right? Man, combat in the lap of luxury!
Want to try? Hang on. The electrodes on one of my new seats have burned out. I'm afraid it'll have to be scrapped.
Good grief.
Never creep up behind me without my permission. I won't be caught off guard around you like the other day.
I am sorry for what happened, but did you have a better way to resolve your situation? Since you brought it up, how'd that all work out?
Major Copacabana gave up the idea of marrying me without a fuss, but ever since he started blabbing about it, my stock has plummeted. It's a total catch-22. If I deny anything, the candidates we ran off will just come crawling back. But if I don't say anything, they'll say I'm a total slut. What am I supposed to do?
You have my condolences. That sounds... Ouch!
Quinther, you bastard! Were you living out some fetish?
You got it all wrong! This trash isn't even mine! All that groping stuff was solely intended to help you out! I actually found another copy on the landing ship we came in. Guess this one's pretty popular with our troops. So, I'm gonna stay behind to clean this mess up. Don't mind me.
No matter how you slice it, what you did saved me. Your approach couldn't have been worse, but thanks anyway.
So who's this Slatter Honeysuckle?
Bad guy. Our intel suggests that he's in charge of the Mass Driver Foundation for now.
What do we know about him?
He has quite a few irons in the fire. He's one of the world's foremost investors, was military advisor to the Foundation's chairman emeritus, and he was the Foundation's in-house object designer.
Impressive.
We'll hit the former Amazon city in force with the princess's object. If nothing else, we'll make sure he's terminated. Which should result in the remaining resistance falling apart.
Let me ask you something. I'm curious. Do you think the rumor's valid?
What rumor?
Some of the soldiers are saying the Mass Driver Foundation might have had a second object, which is what powered those spare guns in Antarctica. Scuttlebutt's pretty widespread.
The Unknown X.
But is it even possible? An object's as tall as a skyscraper, but we've received no satellite radar or visual confirmation.
I don't know. That's what makes this jack-in-the-box so terrifying. You should be careful out there. If you underestimate them, you might not get away with just an ankle sprain this time.
Injured and still shipped off to battle.
We're using an object to flush a high-value target out of the world's largest jungle. Coordination with the boots on the ground is absolutely crucial.
I have a question I hope you can clear up.
What's wrong? Is the plan confusing?
I heard Quinther fondled you, is that true?
Wow, word really does get around, doesn't it? I hope you won't let this affect your mission performance. Just because he got grabby? If that determined victory or defeat, the brass would be useless and everyone would solve all conflicts with girls' beach volleyball.
Interesting. Apparently, you're not even going to try denying the fondling incident.
Oh, give me a break.
Oh, give me a break. Oh, even the ground feels all gross and sticky. Isn't there a route less likely to give us dengue fever?
Would you prefer to take the highway that leads straight there in full view of the enemy?
What's on your rifle?
An insecticide can. This is the Amazon, the world's largest jungle. There's stingers, bloodsuckers, and a ton of other nasty bastards.
If we have to run into a native bug, I hope it's something interesting like a Hercules beetle.
Since we're assuming there will be a counteroffensive, our troops are found out all over roaming through this stupid jungle.
If the princess's object was in working order, there might have been a more efficient way to accomplish our mission.
At least we already blew their object away.
Maybe, but that rumor...
That there might be a second one? I see why the brass are being cautious, but sending a bunch of grunts to check whether an object exists is more hazardous than friggin' landmine removal.
It's not as hazardous as losing the princess and the baby Magnum to an otherwise avoidable ambush, genius. Have you forgotten how badly an army can suffer after they've lost their object? Remember, top priority here is the HVT Slatter Honeysuckle. We need him out of the picture. This war could go on indefinitely if he escapes.
Yeah. Man, this honeysuckle bastard must be a real potential thorn in the ass.
I personally guarantee it.
I got curious, so I read a paper Honeysuckle wrote. He theorized bold modifications for existing objects. The thinking behind the ideas he proposed proved he was an absolute genius. From what I read, there's nothing normal about him, for good and for ill. Fighting against a brilliant brain like his won't be easy. Beating him will be even harder.
And he has both the technology and the finances to build objects by himself.
All by himself? We're up against an eccentric billionaire mastermind? Come on, that's way too much to handle. Unless in a twist we find out he's really a smoking hot chicken to dudes named Havia.
Enough idle chit-chat. Our objective is to shut down what's left of the Mass Driver Foundation. Slatter Honeysuckle must be terminated. Once he's dead, we'll take fingerprints, a photo of his face, and a blood sample. This won't be over until the data confirms his corpse.
This is Burning Alpha. I could scatter mines all around Amazon City, Major. That'd block his escape route.
Huh? It's that fighter pilot guy.
Suggestion appreciated, but don't do it. Even if they are smart minds, let's not litter our own terrain with unexploded ordnance. Though, if all you flyboys were willing to clean up the minefield after the mission, I might authorize it.
Understood. I think I'll just shut up and resume my patrol.
But if he gets targeted by the enemy object, it's game over for him.
With the baby Magnum damaged, some of the heavy lifting's left to the rest of us.
So this is Amazon City.
Look on my work, see mighty, and despair.
It definitely looks like an ideal place for fugitives to hide.
I guess it started.
Luckily, the princess is in the vicinity. Which means, if we get into a jam, we've got fire support.
Good point. Eyes on those windows. We don't want snipers catching us. Now let's move, quick and quiet, and we'll take out any targets of opportunity along the way.
Quinzer, Havia, hunker down and cover your ears for a minute. Orders to provide artillery support. Better hurry, or you'll get blown away.
Son of a... Damn it! That kind of cover fire is just as dangerous to us friendlies! Enemy troops could be hiding all over the place, not to mention those possible spare guns. If that wasn't enough, we were nearly killed by the shockwave from our own object. Hell, I thought war was supposed to be left to objects these days. Yet how many times have they sent us to the front lines to flip certain death the bird?
The Baby Magnum's propulsion unit is still damaged from the last fight. There's a chance it won't make it over the rubble. That happens, the engineers are up to bat. Do your best to stay alive.
Looks like the rest of our unit has entered the city from other sectors. We were instructed to slowly close in the perimeter and search all the way to the city center.
Even in the golden age of objects, I guess the job of flushing out one man and killing him is still a job for flesh and blood troops.
Yeah, when you need precision work, you don't look to the object. Are you freaking kidding?
They're army ants! If memory serves, this species migrates by the hundreds of thousands, eating cattle, pigs, and anything that stands in the way of their swarm!
This is what I expected from the Amazon. Mother Nature ain't screwing around.
Uh-oh, Avia, they're behind us! This looks bad! If we don't figure something out soon, we're gonna be a buffet for a whole bunch of bugs!
But what are we gonna do about them? We can only stop so many before they overwhelm us.
The insecticide!
Wait, duh. I brought special equipment, might as well put it to use.
Real nice special equipment you got there! Baby Magnum, do you read me? Can you burn the ants with your lasers, the small-scale ones?
It's not impossible, but if I strike at this range, the flash could blind you permanently.
So there's no other way? Double damn!
Yeah, we're gonna die, consumed by Amazonian ants. What a way to go.
There's gotta be something. I've got the usual mission allotment of hand axe in my backpack, but I don't think I could blow them all away in one shot.
At least buy me a drink first!
You aren't really my type, Avia. There's no more time for fooling around. Grab all the smoke bombs, smoke grenades, signal flares you've got on you. Take out anything that produces smoke. Throw them all into the swarm.
The fumigation approach. Works for me. Quinther, buddy? The smoke keeps rising, but the horde of ants that's trying to eat us is on the ground and they're unaffected?
Not for long.
Careful, man! What are you doing?
I'm trying to make sure all of this smoke doesn't go to waste! Are they dead?
Think we should double check? Let's get moving. That explosion plus all those smoke grenades will probably draw those mass driver jokers down on our heads.
Doubtful. Take a look over there.
Poor jerks are covered head to toe in swollen ant bites.
No wonder. That explains why we were lucky enough to avoid a firefight.
Ripes. We really are waging one unglamorous war.
Major General Buffett Planters here, Capital Enterprise Armed Forces. It's come to my attention that your army is currently in pursuit of our Mass Driver Foundation.
My name is Major Frolacia Capistrano. I'm the commanding officer on site. Buffa. Damn. He's the VIP that Quinther and Havia ended up saving from the attack on the moon. I didn't expect to hear from you. What is this about, sir? If you're feeling apprehensive about us capturing Honeysuckle, even if he were to surrender and seek asylum, we still plan to shoot him dead. So there's no need for you to worry.
I'm not worried about that in the slightest. Why not? Because there's absolutely no chance he will seek asylum. At least he won't seek it from your legitimate kingdom.
Not us? No, it can't be.
Actually, it can. This situation has escalated well beyond the point where you can ever hope to bring it under control, my dear Major.
So those soldiers got ant attacked while setting up this monster.
Just the threat of being bitten to death by army ants is distracting enough. I'm actually impressed they managed to get it as far along as they did.
The fate of these guys notwithstanding, aren't the Mass Driver Foundation people painting themselves into a corner at this point?
Huh?
It makes no sense to install something like this unless you're trying to buy time. Even if they had a second object, the more time that passed, the more the enemy, in this case us, would be able to dispatch overwhelming numbers of objects against them.
That's a good point. They don't need a defensive strategy. Instead of staying in one place, they'd be better served just getting as far away from here as possible. What, did you find something, Havia?
The Mass Driver Foundation was an organization from the Capital Enterprise, right?
Yeah, at one point.
Then why were they firing 7.62mm ammo made by the Spear Rifle Corporation? one army uses this ammo.
Alert, all units. We need to amp up the pursuit. If we don't take Slatter Honeysuckle down right now, this war could rapidly escalate into a major crisis.
What exactly are you telling us, Frolacia?
We've just learned the enemy is buying enough time to try and seek asylum.
Seek asylum? Let me guess. Not with us.
Afraid not. They turned to a different organization for help.
The Intelligence Union!
If we do nothing, the Intelligence Union can use the pretext of rescuing asylum seekers to bring their objects across the border for a full invasion of Amazonia. Honeysuckle and his subordinates only need to last until they show up. Looks like their plan was to never run away, but to dig in and mount a defense.
Should the Intelligence Union decide to intervene, the Capital Enterprise will worry their tech secrets are being leaked and mount an armed intervention to put a stop to it.
If that happens, we'll have 3 forces fighting for Amazonia, or worse.
If the Mass Driver Foundation actually possesses a secondary object, that would pit 4 forces against each other, turning this into the worst battlefront possible.
We cannot allow that. Stop Honeysuckle before then. We're going to bring this war to an end now by ourselves if need be.
I'm with you, but what's our time limit? How much leeway do we have before the Intelligence Union gets involved?
We have approximately 2 hours before their base zone is completed. If this situation isn't settled by then, it's literally going to be hell in Amazon City.
What was that?
Get out of there immediately! The Mass Driver Foundation's people just blew the roof off of the underground shopping center they were hiding in. We now have satellite confirmation. They've brought out another spare object weapon against us, but this time it's the freight carrier's main cannon, the high-output railgun.
What are we gonna do, Quinther? Use the time we've got. Come in, Princess! You're in close range of their gun!
But it's also within reach of our main guns! Unleash the thunder, Princess! Before they fire on us!
In a cavalry battle, knock down the foothold!
The all-out war in Amazon City. 2.